The testimonies that he's given to the cops, to the feds, I guess the testimonies mean more and are more important than actual people's lives that have been lost on his word. How do the men who got life sentences for way less than him feel? Let them boys out too. But it's a game, right? May the best or worst man win. What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today we will be talking about a former drug kingpin from DC and the recent updates that we have on him. Him being Rayful Edmond himself. And of course, towards the end of the video, after I tell y'all what y'all need to know about it, I will give my point of view, my perspective. So, this news slid across my desk last night, and I just had to get this off my chest right this minute. So, here we go. So, Rayful Edmond came up in the times of a lot of the big names. Wayne Perry, Tony Lewis, to list just a few. There are many men that were either sent to prison or given more time because of Rayful Edmond. I've covered Rayful Edmond several times on this channel. Those videos will be in the description below, and also it will be in the pinned comment. But to give a brief summary on who Rayful Edmond is, around his early 20s, he rose in the DC drug game. He was the head of his organization. He had quite a few members along with his family. He bought a restaurant or a business front. His family ran the business. Whole time that's just a front for stashing money, stashing drugs, etc. During Rayful Edmond's reign, he had quite a few young boys under the age of 18 out doing hits for him. Contradictory, because he did have a youth basketball team. So he had several different facades and facades to maneuver his way through the drug game and not get touched or apprehended until he did. And during his reign, it is important to note that Rayful Edmond never got touched. Most of the time because, he paid people off to stay away from him and his crew. And he paid people to protect him. Not just to do X, Y, and Z for him, to literally protect his life. So things started to get messy within Rayful's organization. And from what I've covered, it's mainly family making it messy, running their mouth, and majority of them were arrested by mid-April of 1989. Rayful Edmond was 24 years old at the time. When he did get sentenced, he got a life sentence. To me, it is differences between him and Wayne Perry because Wayne Perry did the work himself. If he wanted somebody dead, and this is not glorifying it, if Wayne Perry wanted somebody touched, he would do it himself. Not Rayful Edmond. But that doesn't mean that Rayful Edmond gets to walk free just because he didn't pull the trigger. You wanted somebody dead and it happened. You wanted multiple people dead and it happened. That's the life sentence right there. Now, here is the update. We are in November of 2022. Now they are saying that Rayful Edmond's sentence has been reduced again. About 2 years ago, Rayful believed that he was still going to be spending the rest of his life in prison. But that's not necessarily true because this is the second time that his sentence has been reduced. Earlier this week, Rayful Edmond was before a U.S. Middle District Judge, where he was awarded another reduction of his sentence due to the extensive, keyword extensive, cooperation that he has had with authorities. After he was sentenced to life, he got the ball rolling and kept selling drugs, running his operation while he was behind the wall. You feel what I'm saying? Once he got caught doing that, they added 30 years onto the life sentence. The math is not mathing to me, because I was like, well, where did the 30-year sentence go if they're talking about his life without parole being reduced to 20 years? Okay, so the math was not mathing to me, because I was like, well, where did the 30 years go that was extra added on to the life sentence? Yeah, the life sentence without parole got reduced, but where did that 30 years go? And this is a part of the update. Now that he has done all of his time and then some behind the life without parole, it was reduced to 20. He did more than 20. Okay, he's done nearly 32 years in prison. This update is that the 30-year sentence was reduced to 30 months. Rayful Edmond's name is responsible for helping investigators solve 20 plus murders, but his first deal of business was giving names of 5 up-and-coming dealers in the District of Columbia. We can go on and on about how unfair this is, or some people would say, let him out, he's done enough time. I personally don't believe he's done enough time based on the amount of blood that is on his hands. If we're going to say Alpo played the game and he played DC, I would like to say the same about Rayful. He played every game in any angle he could. Rolled the dice, played the game. He played the drug game the way he saw fit. And in the judicial system, he did the very exact same thing. The cops called Alpo a great businessman for helping them do their job. Rayful had a lot of workers, correct? In the situation that he has been in for the last 30 plus years, he has used cops, detectives, judges, etc. as his workers. The power of somebody who is solely looking out for themselves, you can't sleep on that. You can't sleep on it, because a person like that will let their mother sink. Yeah, you got her up out the water, but it might be some damn brain damage. You done left her down there too long. You got her eventually, but once the opportunity striked, it wasn't an instinct. Gotta watch out for people like that. Very opportunistic, and what you see is not what you get. Some might say he doesn't deserve to be out free, and DC is divided on this, you know. My thing is, if you let the person who put everything together, put everything in motion, except for the actual act of killing them, the person that hires, the person that fires, the person that gives looks and things get done, the person that made everybody a puzzle piece on his board. If you let him walk free, why not consider letting the people that worked under him walk free as well? What about the people that he might have had some low-key underlying pressure about and decided to throw their names in there too? All in hopes to get every single body, every single charge erased. And I don't mean that in a literal sense. It will be there. But to take away all of those years, do any of those deaths mean anything? Versus the testimonies that he's given to the cops, to the feds. I guess the testimonies mean more and are more important than actual people's lives that have been lost on his word. I don't even really want to know how he feels about being released. He should be happy. How does everybody else feel? How do the men who got life sentences for way less than him feel? Let them boys out too. And let's just see what happens, because when a person doesn't learn their lesson, it's almost like prison has a revolving door. You may exit, but it's almost like that motherfucker bring you right back in. People enter, people exit, they enter back in, they exit, like that. Let me ask you a question. Who is worse than the ringleader? Sammy the Bull got John Gotti put away for the rest of his life. A big fish in the Fed's eyes. But a lot of people would agree that Sammy is a big fish also. But it's a game, right? May the best or worst man win. If he's not one of them ones that's monitored for the rest of his life, he might very well come up out the penitentiary thinking it's still the 1980s, just like Alpo did, with the mindset of a 24-year-old, because that's the age that he went in. We seen that, didn't we? I'm sure a lot of people want to hear his side and hear his perspective and his advice to the youth and things like that. But don't be fake. Don't be fake and act like the snitch word don't come up frequently when talking about Rayful. That specific word and another one, rat. I didn't see nobody saying that to Alpo's face. So it do get fake. We seen once he got out and he was really out in the public, it was people that, wanted to hang with him and just be associated, look sweet, whatever. Wasn't nobody on that. Wasn't nobody on that, you a rat, pressing him, nothing. It's going to be a lot of people on that welcome home champ and this, that, and the fourth. Something that he's going to have to watch out for is people trying to get in where they fit in. People hanging around, but some of them looking scared when the camera come around to them. All that. I'm mentioning Alpo in this because them two to me are a lot alike. One being that, okay, both of them snitched. Number two being that I feel as though both of them have paid for protection in one way or another in their past, present, some future. You get what I'm saying. But also in a flashy sense. Somebody who in the past wore things to get attention, flashy things, flashy cars, whole entourage on point, outfits on point, the latest jewelry, etc. Sometimes people, they live and die wanting to impress people and wanting to keep up some type of image. Or listen, what I would hope is that he stay out the way and not want to bring too much attention to himself. I hope that he doesn't come back out with a 20-year-old mindset. It wouldn't be conducive to him living out the rest of his days as a free man. I hope that he doesn't try to associate himself with too many people from the past. Because, not too many people gonna wanna, if they real, you're not gonna, no matter how much time has passed, you're not going to want to associate yourself with people who have did things that you don't agree with. Not as a friend, not as an associate of mine. In this video off, I want to say why I would be apprehensive on him being released is that I don't fully believe that he has learned his lesson. I say that because almost 8 years into his sentence, for all of those 8 years, as far as we know, he was still dealing drugs. And from the point of getting caught until, you know, the early 2000s or so, he has been chatting like a schoolgirl, closing cases for the feds, helping them with their job. It was said that he ended up naming about 100+ names to get his sentence reduced that much. So if you thinking you getting out of your charges, you only got to say a little bit of something, nah. You going to have to tell a whole lot. And you're going to have to come to terms with the community and the people not being here for you as much or at all. And I would be apprehensive on his release because he is one of the people that was responsible for bringing crack cocaine to the District of Columbia and the surrounding areas. I would think that a person that powerful to push product through something new and create this fuck cluster that it is now, I would think that it would take more than that. But that's a lot though. It is a lot. That's a lot to have to tell. The way I view it is that it became a game to him. Snitching became a game to him. How much information do I have to tell to get a lot of time reduced? How much time can I really get knocked off? And goddamn it, here it is. This is one of the only people to me that has not only gotten their life without the possibility of parole reduced down to nothing, reduced down to time served, and also get another additional 30 years knocked down to 30 months. Some people would say that that's God. I wouldn't say that. God ain't got nothing to do with what's going on in the judicial system. Some people would say that it is luck. It's not. What it is you turning on everything that you knew. You having to walk away from a life that you were really comfortable with to save yourself. Now, a lot of people, they not built to do that because they want to come back to the neighborhood and get the love that they got back in the 80s or whenever, right? But the way that I feel about it is, I see Rayful as the captain. And let's say he is the captain of the Titanic. The captain is the boss. Everybody, all the deckhands and shit like that, they take orders from the captain. In the event that the boat is sinking, what is the captain supposed to do? Is the captain supposed to jump off before it capsizes? Is the captain supposed to get the National Guard or the people to come and rescue him and only him? No. The captain is supposed to go down with the ship. But there are some captains who exuded selfishness from the beginning. And with all of that being said, we're going to see how this play out. We will, of course, come back here once he is released and see what he does, what his angle is. If he misses being in the spotlight or something, we shall see all of those things and comment on it as we do. So, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for tuning in.